Back to the audio sound bites. This is Luis Gutierrez. He's a Democrat from Chicago. He was on the Baxter Factor last night. And the question, it's interesting. The people who have children who are American citizens who've been here between 5 and 10 years, they submit a fingerprint, do a background check on them. And if they're clean, they can stay and get working papers. And they get on the books. And then citizenship is right down the road.
There is no citizenship. Okay. The president has no authority. Only through an act of Congress can they ever be granted citizenship. Think of it this way. Here's how I look at it. It's like he's going to set them aside and say, I'm not going to prosecute these people.
Right. So here's how this works. So Baxter there says, and eventually the West, they're going to get citizens. Oh, no, you misunderstood. There is no citizenship. The president has no authority. Only through an act of Congress can he... Luis, do you understand what you're saying here? He has no authority to do what he's going to do, either. He has no authority to grant this pardon, unless they call it that. That would be interesting if they call this a pardon. If the president wants to pardon 5 million illegals. But they're not calling it that. They're saying we're suspending deportation. Everybody knows what's going on here. They are being granted amnesty. And for Gutierrez to say, no, the president has no authority. You know how this works? Here's exactly what's going to happen. A short period of time after this action is taken, and by a short period of time, it isn't going to be very long. It'll happen next year. But let's say all this happens on Friday. Obama, by the way, what do you think is going to come first? The grand jury decision in Ferguson or Obama announcing amnesty on Friday? What do you think is going to happen first? Or do you think they're going to happen at the same time? We're going to get the grand jury decision, and then we're going to have a rebirth of the 60s anti-right or civil rights era. In fact, they're out there selling it that way. You got John Lewis, all these guys. It's going to be Selma all over again. They're so excited about it. They're excited about the grand jury coming down to Ferguson with a no true bill, meaning no indictment. They're excited about that. They're promoting this thing. They want there to be no indictment of the cop. They want to be able to riot in the streets. They want to be able to reenact Selma. They want to reenact the civil rights battles of the 60s. It's amazing. They all want to go back to the good old days. They all want to go back to the nostalgic good old days where they made their bones and relive it and do it all over again. And I got audio sound bites to prove this. And so here's Obama going to Vegas, going to announce amnesty, whatever, on Friday. And in St. Louis, the civil rights groups have put out this list of targets that they want the protesters to hit. And their businesses and industries have nothing to do with what happened in Ferguson. Like Anheuser-Busch, like Emerson Electric, that's a big power company there. I mean, it's a long list. I mean, it's a riot list. These are the targets. Here's the place to go. Set this on fire, blow up this place, whatever. It's right out in the open, right out in front of us. So the question is, do we get split screen on this on Friday? Slow news day. And then maybe will Ray Rice's suspension be lifted and he be announced he can play in the NFL. Whether anybody pick him up or not is another thing. Okay, what time will Obama announce amnesty on Friday? Okay, so he's going to be in Vegas, so that puts him on Pacific time. So he's not going to do it before the program ends. So 3 p.m. Eastern's noon there. He's just getting to work on a normal day. So I would say, I'd say he's going to time this to ruin as many Friday nights as he can. And maybe earlier in the day, the grand jury in Ferguson will reveal whatever they're going to reveal. Oh, man, the left is so excited, folks. I mean, they got a twofer coming up here. I mean, it is the good old days. They're going to actually bring the 60s back to life and reenact and redo everything. And the same old people that were doing it back in the 60s are going to find themselves in Ferguson, in St. Louis. Anyway, what's going to happen here? Obama does this whenever he does it on Friday. And Luis Gutierrez here says, no, there is no citizenship. Only through an act of Congress can they ever be granted citizenship, which just makes me laugh. Only through an act of Congress only through an act of Congress can Obama do what he's going to do, but he's going to do it anyway, without one. So what's going to happen sometime soon, next year, it won't be long, Chuck Schumer or some other prominent Democrat will miraculously appear before microphones and cameras. And he'll have a look of pained suffering on his face. And he'll say that he's very conflicted. But he's still joyous and celebratory and happy over the fact that we, via President Obama's executive action, have opened the doors of our country to 5 million of the greatest people in the world. But what were we thinking when we did not grant them citizenship? What good is allowing them to stay here legally if they can't vote? What kind of country are we? What has happened to us? How, on the one hand, could we grant them permanent permission to stay in our country and at the same time deny them the most valuable right, the most precious right that our citizens have, and that is the right to vote? How in the world could we have denied that? What were we thinking? And so the effort will be launched to grant them citizenship. And if the Republicans oppose, which they won't, then Obama will come back and do another executive action claiming, well, Reagan did it and Bush did it. This is all about 6 months from now. And New York Times has a story here today. It's the same thing. Obama's executive order on immigrant... Wait. Oh, did the New York Times not get the memo? This is not an executive order because Reagan didn't do an executive order. Reagan didn't do any executive action. What do you mean, executive order? That's not what this... Well, it is, but the AP, the drive-bys, are trying to tell us this is not this is what Reagan did. Anyway, the headline of the New York Times piece, Obama's executive order on immigration is unlikely to include health benefits. Now, I see. You can't convince me Jonathan Gruber is not somewhere in this story. How stupid do they think we are? We're going to grant amnesty, but it doesn't contain citizenship, and it doesn't contain health care benefits. What was it? You're right. How stupid do they think we are? No health benefits, no health insurance, no citizenship. We're just going to grant them temporary amnesty against deportation. Right. So there's going to be the same drill. After this happens, a short time later, Chuck Schumer will be back at the microphones after crying over the fact that we forgot to make them citizens. He'll do it again. And he'll say, what kind of country are we? What were we thinking? This shows just how much farther we have to go to be a good people, to be a good country. What were we thinking? 5 million people who have worked and struggled and been separated from their families, and they've paid taxes, and they've made this country what it is, and we are denying them health care benefits. Who in the hell do we think we are? How did this travesty happen? And the move will be on to grant them health care benefits and citizenship within 6 months of Obama's executive action. You know it, and I know it.